Was wird unser Leben wert, wenn allein regiert das Schwert und die ganze Welt zerfällt in toten Sand? Aber das wird nicht geschehen, denn wir wollen nicht untergehen, und so rufen wir durch unser deutsches Land. Go home, Ami, Ami, go home, spalte für den Frieden dein Atom. Sag goodbye der Vater rein, rühr nicht an sein Töchterlein, Lorelei, solang du singst, wird Deutschland sein. Aus USA sind für die Etappe da, wollen die German Boys verrecken in dem Sand. Doch sind wir die Waffen kalt, doch der Friede wird nicht bald, hält nicht jeder schützend über ihn die Hand. Go home, Ami, Ami, go home, spalte für den Frieden dein Atom. Sag goodbye der Vater rein, rühr nicht an sein Töchterlein, Lorelei, solang du singst, wird Deutschland sein. Ami, lern die Melodie von der Jungfrau Lorelei, die dort oben sitzt und kämmt ihr goldenes Haar. Wer den Kamm hier bricht in zwei, bricht sich selbst das Knick dabei. Uralt ist das Märchen, traurig aber wahr. Go home, Ami, Ami, go home, lass in Ruhe den deutschen Strom. Denn für deinen Way of Life kriegst du uns ja doch nicht reif. Grüß von Leuten kompliziert, der Kamm bleibt hier.
I was wondering, can you return it?
I probably could.
Okay. See if you can.
All right, here we go. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
I'm good. I'm good. Let's go ahead and get into this then. I'm trying to make this short, but
These are dirty, correct?
yes.
The socks? Okay.
Yes.
I got them.
Yep. All right. Let's jump into it.
La.
Okay, thank you. Jeez Louise. All right, well, I knew eventually she was going to do that. All right, okay. So I saw this interesting little bit from, it's going pretty good. Sorry about that. I was going to do it at 4, but then I just got caught up in other stuff. So apologies. That was Go Home, Ami, Ami, Go Home. It's a German song. Yeah, basically, Ami Go Home is the name. So it's American Go Home, basically. Done by a German communist of some sort. Anywho, pretty good little beat. And that's a remix of it, obviously. Techno style. But let's go ahead and get into it, though. So I saw a tweet from, I think this notoriously, like, lefty sort of thing where they were mad at Andrew Yang, as a lot of folks are, because for numerous reasons, but mostly because Andrew Yang sucked the air out of the room, basically, of the New York City mayor's race. And basically he knew he wouldn't win, but he sucked the air out of the room. And because of that, it hurt their chances, and they have Eric Adams and whatnot. And I say to myself, if you're upset about that because of, this guy who's being a showboater, then you're really not going to like it when the Electoral College is abolished. And the rules where it's like, you go to the Iowa caucus and all that, once the Electoral College is gone, then it will be a popularity contest. The Electoral College, for all its faults, is the last thing to try to at least give the appearance. In my opinion, it's the last thing that gives an appearance to pretend that, everybody is represented. Once the Electoral College goes, in my opinion, once that's gone, you no longer represent everybody. You only represent bigger areas. Now, of course, like I say, you can talk about the gerrymander game, and you can talk about other issues. Sure, absolutely that affects it. But it would be purely based on popularity and who has the most eyeballs on them, right? So everybody was talking about Andrew Yang and his, about his comments about circumcision and all this other stuff. And because of that, people and that's why Eric Adams won the New York City mayoral race. A fairly corrupt guy who was, once part of the NYPD. We covered it a while back, talking about the various candidates. But, to me, this is a perfect example of once you get rid of that. Like I say what you will about the filibuster. Go ahead and get rid of the filibuster. Fine. But when you get rid of the Electoral College, people have said, who cares about what people in Montana say, all this sort of thing. So when you get that sort of, who cares about, people in Montana, who cares about people in South Dakota, once you get that, you create that sort of disconnect. Like I say, for a long time, at least you had, people would have to drive, would have to fly to Iowa to the caucus. Now, I imagine, some of that will remain the same, but it will become hollow. That there's no reason for it. Like I say, to me, getting rid of the Electoral College is the first step. And that's not to say that the Electoral College is perfect. Absolutely not. But, you know what I mean? And also I want to mention, but of course, apparently people were mad, and Vosh pretty much spent his whole stream, I just happened to take a peek at it, talking about Tucker Carlson talking to Andrew Yang and saying these ignorant things. The thing is, Andrew Yang was talking about, automation is this, and it's funny where Vosh is like, well, actually, automation is good. It's better for the system, this and that. It's like, what are you talking about? Anywho, but they live in this lefty fantasy where it's like, if everyone had the chance to go to college, it's like, no. College, and I say this as a college graduate now, college is not for everybody. Even if you get your degree, that degree, it's like, would you rather have 20 people who all have college degrees? Or would you rather live in a society where 5 people have a college degree and the rest are, technicians or whatever the case may be in their certain fields, whatever that may be, right? I'd rather live in the one where 5 people who went to college really wanted it to, really took a genuine interest in it. To me, college is nowadays, of course, college has lost its value. And I say that once again, as a college graduate, it has. College has lost its value. It is something that you can pretty much just do online. So why are people, why are lefties still praising this as if it's the 1980s or something like that? The worth of college is nil, But anywho, another aspect that everyone's been talking about today is that Superman's son is apparently bisexual now. I could not care less. I've never been a huge fan of Superman or the series of movies, with what's his name, and I'm trying to think of it now, Christopher Reeves and all. I don't care. But it's simple to me. This is not a surprise. Superman, as opposed to Batman, or as opposed to whichever comic character, Superman was the one that always cucked to the system, no matter what it was. So now he's super gay instead of super boy. Well, that's his son. It's his son. It's, what is it, John Kent or whatever? Lois Lane and Clark Kent's son. Who cares? Frankly, who cares? Anywho, which is kind of ironic because the guy who played him in Pleasantville or whatever it is, that guy was gay. The guy who played Superman. But anywho, so it's kind of ironic in a certain way, but Superman was always, I don't even say this as like a nerd, but I just say it as, just kind of looking at it. Superman was always the one who, apart from like maybe, Captain America, who was always representative of the system. Where it's just like, we need to respect other people and other religions and this and that, We represent the American way. It's like, wow. And now, of course, Superman's son is somebody who, is now bisexual, apparently, who is going to protests, speaking up for migrants, this and that sort of thing. So, I mean, to me, it's not a surprise. Wow, it's like, it's simply continuing on a tradition. I mean, comic book spurgs can go ahead and go on and on about it and screech as much as they want to. I don't care. I genuinely don't. It's not surprising. Oh, wow. You mean Superman, the one that's really, been a cuck to the system, his character? I hate to keep using that word cuck, but someone that has been a mindless drone of the system. You mean he, now that his son is bisexual? Oh, wow. I mean, he's being, why is anyone surprised? Why? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It genuinely should not be a surprise. I mean, that's my opinion of it. But the thing is, though, this is where we are now. I mean, I've said that before, but, we see all this sort of stuff happening. And we see things keep getting pushed. See, the thing is what they're, what the federal government, and more specifically, the Biden administration, the people who follow it, to a point, they are trying to put on a different face. That's simply what they're doing. And they're putting on the face, and they're basically putting up nice pictures to confuse people. They're presenting a mirage. The system is still what it is. If you genuinely think that Joe Biden is going to change something, I wouldn't say Superman cut to the system all the time. However, the most base Superman is communist and no Superman. Oh, is there a Hortler Superman? I had no idea. It's kind of ironic because, of course, Superman was a creation of Jewish guys. But yeah, like I say, I'm not a huge comic book person, to be honest with you. I was more into, the cartoons on TV, like Rocko's Modern Life, stuff like that. But anywho, yeah, I mean, like I said, I couldn't really, who cares? Where the hell was I going with this? I forgot already. Oh, boomerism. The boomerism will take place. The boomerism will come. What the hell was I talking about? I mean, Columbus Day, of course, people were talking about that. It's Indigenous Peoples Day and all this. Who cares, frankly? I mean, there's people who be like, Columbus, slept with women. He was base, bro. Or the whole, it's so awful. I don't care. Are we living in 2021 or are we living in like 1592 or 1492? Which is it? I live in this present day. Sometimes I can look back in the past, but it's like, are you people serious? I mean, that's my attitude. Like, are you people serious? But of course, it's original sin sort of stuff. Yeah. One word kills Mustache Man and leads to Reich himself, and another where Germany had already won, I think. Oh, really? Wow. But we're seeing this, like I say, there is a revolution going on. it's just occurring behind closed doors. This idea of reinventing the United States, trying to rebrand the United States to say we're much more accepting of these things. Ultimately, they're not. But they're trying to reinvent things massively. There are real concerns. And I think, like I say, like I was talking about before, where it's just like, if more people had college degrees, it's like, no, getting people into college is not going to fix the issue. You're just going to have more unemployable people. You know what I mean? I mean, people have studied this immensely, where it's like, oh, yeah, well, get your degree in, they always make the joke of basket weaving, or you get your degree in women's studies, or hell, I mean, get your degree in finance or something like that, right? I mean, accounting to a point is a little more, but, you know, we see these changes as well, where apparently if you haven't paid your taxes, if you have $600 in your account, basically they're going to start monitoring you. And it sounds like the federal government would be garnishing your wages if you hadn't paid your taxes. Now, maybe I'm taking that out of context, but this is what Pelosi said today. So it's just like, oh boy, here we go, you know. So we see these massive, but it's the game doesn't change. It's just the player sort of thing, right? We're seeing all this stuff happen. And like I say, to a point, people will cope about this. But the fact is that the Democrats massively co-opted BLM and all those, as we joke now, the summer of 2020. That was co-opted. All that energy was co-opted by the Democrats. And that energy basically solidified their point. And they were able to adapt that stuff and to a point used it along with COVID and other aspects to get Joe Biden elected. If you want to believe that or not. Like I say, I'm not going to sit here and get into it yet. One thing I hate about Bill Gates is Bill Gates says college graduates earn more. I'm like, yeah, they have to earn more to pay off their debt. Can't even declare bankruptcy. Oh, yeah, absolutely. College is, I say this once again as a college graduate. College is basically something that you really don't need. You don't need it. They don't even work in the same field as their degree. Oh, no, absolutely not. I got my degree in marketing. And I knew to a point I wasn't going to be hired on by some marketing firm. So now I work in maintenance. And I'll probably end up staying in maintenance and just BS my way through that. And hopefully I'll see how long I last, before jobs are taken away. I don't know. But we see, and then the Communist Superman one is the anime. Oh yeah, I saw that one. I did actually see that. Yeah, Superman was raised by kulaks. Take that as you will. Oh yeah, and he killed Stalin. I remember that. Yeah, he blew up Stalin. Yeah, I did watch that. Mm-hmm. And the difference is that is that when he takes over, like one of the bad guys is like a I forget what it was, but it's like he was like a so-called freedom fighter against his Soviet Union. And he had like the underground gulags and stuff like that. They were underground, and like then he changed it where they had like monitors on their heads and stuff. Oh yeah, dealing with the terrible career counseling in schools. Like I said, to me, you can go ahead and blame capitalism, which absolutely you should. You should ultimately blame capitalism. But there are structures that I don't think, like I say, socialism cannot fix everything. I'll put it that way. Maybe people are going to read this and be like, what are you saying? You've promoted socialism. I have. But socialism is not going to fix everything. Socialism cannot change, it can try and it can, push it all you want to for whatever reason to whatever end. But the thing is, you cannot get rid of, the destiny of a people. You can't turn the Chinese into something else, right? You can't turn the Russians into something else. This is something that was attempted as well, like Esperanto, this and that. We're going to speak that language, right? It never really occurred that way. Russia is still going to be Russian, you know? And the Russian people are still going to have that. I'm going to use a term that's probably a bit cringe, but yeah. And Batman was an anarchist. That's it, yes. At least Batman wasn't a trot. Yeah, exactly, yeah. At least there's that, yeah. The only based anarchist. That's it. I do remember seeing it, though. Yeah, I do remember seeing that. What else? Where is I going with this? I already forgot. But basically, socialism cannot change a people, right? You have to kind of go with it, right? That's why they call it socialism with Chinese characteristics, right? That's why you have people like Caleb Maupin to a point who are trying to promote socialism with American characteristics. But it's like, the thing is, he's too autistic and he's still wrapped up in that little world to really be effective out in real life, I would say. He's too wrapped up in his own little world to be invested in the real world, I don't even say that like, oh, I'm doing it. No, I'm not. I'm just saying is that, you have to be able to, try to understand how to, realize that people are fucking crazy, and people are nuts, basically. And you have to be able to kind of work with that. It's like, do you think that socialism in any realistic way, you think that they would, would like a form of Maoism really take place in the United States? It's like, no. Do they really think that, getting rid of the churches and all this sort of thing, you think that's going to help anything? No, of course not. It's a real funky situation, to say the least, We see the changes occurring, whatnot. Let's go ahead and see if there's something going on with Texas. I know people are mad about that. Let me see here. News, office of the governor. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Governor signs an order. Okay, October 12th. Okay, governor readies resources in response to threat of severe. Well, let's go ahead and talk about some Texas stuff. I said I was going to talk about Texas stuff more. I put it off because I'm lazy. But I'll do it today. Directed the Texas Division of Energy Management to place state response and recovery resources on standby due to the potential threat of severe storms, heavy rainfall, and flash flooding from a cold front interacting with moisture from Hurricane Pamela. State of Texas is prepared to respond to the severe weather that is anticipated to hit our state this week. And Texans can do their part by heeding the guidance of their local officials and preparing for a heavy rainfall and flash flooding and exercising caution. A&M Extension Service. Let's see here. A&M Forest Service. Texas Department of State Health Services. EMTF. Let's see what we got here. Texas Department of Transportation. TxDOT. Public Utility Commission. Power Outage Monitoring. FEMA's flood map. Okay, interesting. I don't know anything about what's the first lady's name even. What's her name? Cecilia Abbott. She's not a looker. She's not. I'll go ahead and show the screen for this. She's not a looker. I'm sorry. I know. Believe me. Once again, I'm no prize, as they say. As the MST3K joke goes, you're no prize, Dan Fogarty. But I'll go ahead and show it right quick. Here we go. She's not bad. I'm sure that there was a time when she was okay looking, but I don't know. I hate to be that guy, but yeah. But I think it's better. There's this blind obedience, I think, in a lot of ways to like. I don't think people in general like Kathy Hochul in New York. I kind of blew her off at first, like, oh, she's just going to get in there. She's really gone full bore. She's gone full bore into her opinion. Let's go ahead and look at Kathy Hochul, though. Why not? I said I'm going to talk about Texas, and then I almost immediately give up on it. But let's go ahead and look at Kathy Hochul. Let's look at some more information about her. What did she apologize to? Oh, here we go. Let's look at the New York Post. Let's look at this right quick. Oof. That is evil. Look at that face. That's evil. That's like Angelica Houston in like The Witches sort of evil. That's an old reference. Sorry. Let's go ahead and look through this. New York Post, take it with a huge grain of salt. Kathy Hochul held a closed-door meeting with relatives of nursing home residents killed by COVID-19 and apologized to them for the pain caused by her predecessor, Andrew Cuomo's handling of the crisis. Like I say, she has really, been a lightning rod of controversy. But she had to hit the ground running. I'm sure to a point, people are like, okay, you've got to go out there and be strong. You got to show your loyalty to the president. You have to go out there and prove, be loyal as you can. Led by Assemblyman Ron Kim, a Democrat from Queens, presented the governor with a list of demands, including elder care reforms and the state own up for its controversial directive believed to have increased the death toll among nursing home residents. At the very top of the meeting, after we introduced ourselves, she learned, it was obviously a private apology, but I think it really touched the families. That's something they've been asking for, to be treated decently as human beings. He added, it was a genuine empathetic moment that stood out to us. It was a stark change from the behavior of Cuomo's lackeys. But yeah, Cuomo was awful, though, let's say. But, Kathy Hochul really has to be pushed out, yeah. What I want to know is that before Jason Unruh denounced them, how many genuine Nosballs and Strasserists were Jason Unruh fans, and how many were just edgy tankies who liked a good meme? That's a good question. That is a good question. I would say, if we wanted to break it down in percentages, maybe like 20 to 30%, I would say. There were those, I think, who felt that Jason Unruh could have gone Nosbol, but I think that Jason Unruh is he's too much of a spurb. That's my take. Yeah. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. Very emotional for the first time since we began our quest. But yeah, Kathy Hochul, Janice Dean lost both her mother and father-in-law. Oh, wow. Hochul supported bipartisan investigation subpoena power. That she release all remaining nursing home data and pending Freedom of Information law requests. That she direct the DOH to conduct a re-audit of all COVID-related nursing home deaths. And that she pass a bill creating a nursing home victims compensation fund. And that she dedicate a nursing home victim memorial. It was a good first meeting, and they committed to continue to work with us on our requests. Adding that the governor's staff also spoke with the group to discuss details of the request following the face-to-face. Let's see here. A lot of folks, like I say, I'm avoiding a lot of this because it's very sad, but yeah. Zucker, a key figure in the Cuomo administration, directive is blamed for putting many of the casualties of nursing home in harm's way. Yeah, Zucker. Boy. Is there any relation to Jeff Zucker of CNN? I don't know. Don't worry. I'm slipping into some things I shouldn't be discussing. Yeah, I'll be careful. Hochul's office did not immediately return for the post request for comment. Of course not. Early vote for governor over James. Well, of course, because she's there. I don't really care about this, to be honest with you. I think Kathy Hochul, yeah. Hochul schmokel, I say. I think it's interesting, too. Let's go ahead and talk about this while we're talking about, like, governors and states. Let's talk about good old Good old California. California, 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 California. Raging California wildfire forces evacuation. Santa Barbara. Let's see here. Basically, one big thing that I know people were talking about was that gas-powered lawnmowers, new ones, were to be banned. So you couldn't get any new ones. You keep using the old stuff, but like I said, this is more of a half measure, I think. But the thing is, though, a lot of people are really questioning this. Like, I have my own concerns with solar and wind in general, as opposed to nuclear. I mean, you can't have like a nuclear powered, chainsaw or something like that. But I think that a lot of people question this, and they say to themselves, I think that there's going to be a lot of question about solar panels and wind energy. And people are already to a point questioning, especially what occurred with Texas. Now, of course, what people will say is, well, these are good things, but Texas just didn't prepare for it. And, blame EBSCO, or I can't think of it. But anyway, blame that, or, blame them. And to a point, they're correct. But it's also, that's kind of sus to me. But anywho, that's how those things go. Apparently they're going to do that. So I think that's a ban sales of gas-powered leaf blowers and lawnmowers. Here we go. To ban sales of gas-powered leaf blowers and lawnmowers. Oh, wow. So this was a big thing, though. California will become the first state to ban these. The Democrat also says on Saturday, signed a bill mandating that stores have gender-neutral toy and child care aisles. None of the new laws are effective immediately. The ban, okay. And smaller off-road equipment engines could start as early as 2024. Mr. Newsom last year signed an order that aims to end the sale of gas-powered passenger cars in the state by 2035. California has long been one of the most aggressive states. See, the thing is, people are trying to really push for this. And the thing is, they aren't, like I said, one day in the near future, I think, and it's going to take a lot of individuals to do this. But one day, yeah, electric cars will be reliable and everything else. But right now, they just aren't. They just aren't. It's the same thing with, you can go ahead and say, oh, well, you're holding up progress and all this sort of thing. It's like, it's just not there. These are just side projects. These are not main issues right now, in my opinion. It's just not there. So, go ahead and ban passenger cars, obviously. In the state by 2035, California has long been one of the most aggressive states in the country in regulated emissions. Air pollution. Because of California's size, the rules the state implements often impact what companies manufacture and sell nationally. Which is probably one of the reasons why people and companies are leaving California. But anywho, I know people say, oh, it was bullshit, it's played out. I don't know. Anywho, new law applies only to stores with 500 or more employees. Stores without such sections could face a fine of up to $250 for the first violation, up to $500 for additional violations. Yeah, this is just silly. I don't really care about the whole gender-neutral shit. Under a third bill signed into law by Mr. Newsom, California high school students in the class of 2030 and beyond will be required to complete a one-semester ethnic studies class in order to graduate. Oh, man. This is basically how I learned to become a racist class, basically. That's what it sounds like to me. The new law comes amid a national debate about how issues of race should be taught in American schools. Critics of ethnic studies curriculum have argued that they are racially divisive. After broad criticism, including from Jewish groups, Mr. Newsom vetoed a similar bill last year calling for a revised version would be inclusive of more communities. Ethnic studies courses enable students to learn their own stories and those of their classmates, and a number of oh man, that's Cali for you. That's California for you. I know. California, as the boomers say. I'm curious now. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about some stuff from Louisiana. Should we look up Louisiana? This kind of delves into other issues, but let's look at Louisiana. Louisiana. Let's look at Louisiana. Why not? I'm gonna pick. Let's see here. Hurricane Ida. I'll look at the first one here. Daily Journal. Over $4.5 billion SBA loan. Oh, okay. Oh, they're going to kick me off there. All right. State Auditor Shad White demands Family Resource Center. Okay. Mississippi State's women. Authorities look for armed robber. Tupelo. So this is Mississippi. Mississippi, huh? Well, we can look at Mississippi. Why not? Mississippi. Oh, let's see. Did I lose some fans because of we're talking about Louisiana? I'm sorry about that. Well, they're fussy, ain't they? All right. Are you gonna let me read it? All right. Thank you. Oh, get fucked. Okay, fine. Screw you then. I understand you gotta make your money. All right. Louisiana's oil and gas industry. Slain Louisiana Master Trooper. And accused of killing state trooper, half-sister, and multi-pair shooting spree, taken to jail and slain officers' handcuffs. Oh, boy. Irony. Yep, there's a lot of shootings, but, I mean, you can only bait and produce so much race bait off of these shootings, whether it's, whether it's one that occurred, I think, in Ohio, I think it was, where a black kid stabbed a white kid, and he hid the knife under a mattress. And then they found the knife and all this other shit. I don't know. I take it all with a grain of salt. I think it's cringe. I'm running out of steam, aren't I? And people are kind of getting bored. Are y'all getting bored? It's okay if you are. Should we just wrap it up? Because I feel like I've pretty much said my piece on this. Yeah. We'll just go ahead and wrap this up. But yeah, basically to say, people will continue, I think, to either, I'll put it this way, people will either completely give up on certain things, like, for example, Superman. Yeah, I'm just at work listening. Oh, okay. Well, I'll go ahead and I feel like I'm running out of steam here, so I guess I'll finish up with this. Is that the government and certain entities will be like vampires, and they will co-opt whatever energy they can and will suck the life out of it to basically get what they want. I mean, that's my take on it anyway. So just as the Democrats took advantage of the riots, the George Floyd riots last year, Summer of Love, and Chaz and all that, they took advantage of that energy. Republicans desperately trying to hold on to some sort of legitimacy, which they are failing at miserably. Let's just be honest, they are failing miserably at that. Trying to gain any sort of legitimacy in their respective fields, they are failing. And they are. Like I said, let's make no bones about it. Republicans are trying to hang on to something that I think many people are regretting. But that's where we are. That's where we are. You know what I mean? We see both of these parties, I think Democrats will probably gain a bit more clout. I think, in my opinion, they're definitely going to be able to get more information and whatnot. But I think, or be able to get a bit more representation. But I think that it's only going to go so far. You know what I mean? It's only going to go so far. That's my take on it anyway. It's only going to go as much as it'll go. You know what I mean? But yeah. Anywho, I think that's all I really have to say. I think that's it. Let me go ahead and just wrap it up then. Just kind of stick with this. I think tomorrow, since I'm off, I'm going to see how much I can get through. And y'all can just stick around. You can watch it later. But I think I'll be finishing up and trying to put some music in the background here. I think I can do that easily enough. Ernst Junger, The Worker. I've talked about it. And I'm going to finally get it done. So I'm going to go, I will try to finish up Ernst Junger and wrap that up with a bow and get it done. Or at least try to see how far I can get before I get tired and, just kind of get bored. So, which will probably be about an hour and a half, maybe. So stick around for that tomorrow. Maybe at noon. Let's say noon or 1 o'clock. Shall we do that? So I think we'll do that, and let's go ahead and wrap it up. Any suggestions for a closing theme? I'll give it away. Any sort of closing song or any sort of closing thoughts or anything else you want me to cover? I will be happy to do that. Oofa. Sorry, I'm just looking at this old thought who was promoting this this robotic pool cleaner. Too old. Okay. Well, I'll give it a couple moments here, just in case nobody heard me. But I'll give it a couple moments, and then I think I'll wrap it up neatly. Too many hose attachments. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. Yep. Pulls in sands, bugs, rocks, leaves with ease. Yeah. Hell yeah. Only 6.6 pounds. Oh, neat. 538 square foot pool. Pretty neat. Okay. I'll just go ahead and wrap it up then. I'll pick my own song here to close out. Let me see here. We'll do a different one here from Go Home, Ami Ami, Go Home. Let me see here. I put the good stuff, I think, on socialism, which is going to cover my face, but that's okay because I'll do that and it'll save me some time for tomorrow. Let me see if I can pick out a good one here. Let's just go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and do Brother How, shall we? Let's do Brother How. All right, let me go ahead and unplug my mic here. So, see you later. Goodbye.